Welcome to another Mark 1 video, and it's been literally 2 seconds since I made the last one sitting here. Now, while we're on the subject of parts, I've been working really hard on the parts Bible in the last couple of days, hence why I think it was a prompt for the last video. And I've glanced my eyes, which are really tired from looking at a laptop for quite a long time, and a dangerously long time. Comparing numbers, going on the electronic parts catalogue and cross-referencing numbers, finished codes. It's a labyrinth, it really is. But more so, I started this job about 7 or 8 months ago and building it up slowly in batches. I'd have, a day where I have a few hours free, and then I'd do a few, stop, come back to it. And the last couple of days, I've glanced my eyes over a lot. And what's alarming is things that I have recently bought for 50 shades are no longer around. They're obsolete. Things like tailgate buffers. The rubber buffers on the tailgate, the 2 rubber buffers. Yeah, I bought some genuine new old stock ones from the Ford parts store on eBay literally 2 months ago for about £16. They're gone. I've just checked the parts number again and gone. And there are so many other things. I was talking about rear subframes. Rear subframes for Mark 1s, aftermarket ones, they've disappeared. Which puts my plans up the kibosh if they don't come back in the next 6 months. I hope, judging by the degree of how much they've sold, they will be back. But obviously the manufacturers have got to make it over there and ship them over here, etc. So it depends how many units every company wants to buy. I'm sure it's a minimum order, that sort of thing. But there's clearly a need. So I'm hoping certain things come back like that. But what's alarming is going through everything from interior to electrical, especially the last couple of days, interior, electrical, exterior, even running gear like power steering hoses, air conditioning hoses. Ooh, no chance. Some of this stuff is like gold dust. It doesn't exist. And it didn't back then. Now there's even less stuff. So I'm going to do a video where I'm going to walk around this car instead of talking here. I'm just going to basically tell you with a few assistants. This is going to be a fun episode in the edit. What sort of state a certain part is in and what can you get. Right, off we go. We're going on our map. Oh, blimey. I don't want to break that.
Can't get them anymore.
Yeah, absolutely right, David. Absolutely right. Can't get that no more. It's going to get a bit repetitive, this episode. So, what should we start with? Exterior?
Can't get them anymore.
Nope, definitely not. Door handles, bezels, yes, you can get them to a point. You can get these, you can paint them up, you can get plastic ones, you can get genuine ones. It's not a problem. In fact, if we go in, oh, by the way, the door weather strips, front and rear ones, yes, you can, but genuine only. Aftermarket ones don't really exist. And if you've got a free door, you're joking. Forget this, because this is totally unique. You're not going to have any parts for that. Heater vents, fine. Radio consoles, fine, but you've got to be picky on trim. Radios, plenty of them knocking around of the particular one that you need, whether it's a 4000, 5000, 6000, 6000E, whatever you want. Just don't even go down the route of satellite navigation, because none of it works. All this, the whole control module for the automatic temperature control. Yes, you can get them, but it's second hand only. Second hand trim. You can get these genuine if you're lucky. The wiper stalks, steering wheels, get them refurbished yourself, don't bother. Clocks, you got to repair them now. You just need to repair them instead of swapping them for second hand because they've got the same problems. Carpets, get them brand new. Yes, they're accessory aftermarket ones. Well, Ford have had them commissioned, but they have an actual parts number, but they weren't in Mark 1 production, they came after. Centre console.
Can't get them anymore.
Nope. The seat belts, that's second hand. Door cards, well, you've got to be picky about them, second hand. A pillars, B pillars, C pillars, D pillars on this one. All the back trim, forget it. Estates, saloons, you're joking. You can get this. Yes, you can definitely get that. There are some aftermarket ones of these covers. They're not very good.
Aftermarket shite.
Genuine ones, you can still get them, but not for very long. Wheels, refurbish what you've got. Door mouldings, you're going to struggle. You're going to have them resprayed. To be honest, I'm going to be in that situation. Stipple plastic, as most of them are. 4, 5 doors, fine. Estates, absolutely fine. 3-door models, same position. Can't get the front ones. You can get the tiny ones that go on the quarter panel, just the small ones here, that's fine. But the front ones that are very long, I had to buy mine from Spain or Portugal, whichever, for a lot of money 6 years ago. Now this would differ to the hatch models, but the same ruling applies. All the rear lights, can't really get them, and the aftermarket supplies are running out. These,
Obsolete.
whether it's the chrome plastic insert handle or the stipple plastic, as most of them got, or even if it's painted, you've got to repaint it over. Wiper motors, absolutely fine, but second hand only. Seem to have a common problem where they pack up. They obviously weren't very well made in the first place. Don't break these because these don't have a parts number. Please do not break these. Now, virtually everything in this cargo bay is
Obsolete.
Yep.
Obsolete.
Can't get the netting. Virtually all the door seals in every single car, can't get them. This trim, this sill trim on the Estates,
Obsolete.
yep. These, believe you me, I've tried.
Obsolete.
As you can see, I need one, but can't get one. Forget your pieces of trim here.
Obsolete.
Yep. You're going to be bored and sick of Nick saying that by the end of this episode, because really, honestly, there's not much that isn't
Obsolete.
yet. But thankfully, you can get a brand new, genuine aerial. Mirrors were okay, were accounted for. There's plenty of glass around the place. I mean, there's plenty of Mark 1s to break, and there's plenty of glass everywhere, unless you're an estate person and you've got that smacking thing. In fact, anybody with a saloon or estate, you're immediately handicapped. I think the 3-door owners have got problems, because if this was a 3-door, everything here, up to the dashboard, completely unique to that car. So very few things that are completely the same on a 3-door from a 5 saloon and estate. That didn't change. Dashboard didn't change. But everything beyond that, completely different. Every single trim panel is completely different. Even the trim panels where this seat belt comes in, this is a separate panel. This is. Now that on the 3-door is completely different to the 5-door, but you didn't know that. Doors, completely different on the estate, because it doesn't swoop down like on the saloon and hatch. It goes straight across. The glass would also be different. Inside the doors, window regulators, can get the front ones electric. The rear electric ones are very easy to get hold of. We've got no problems on that side. Switch gear, second hand. These pieces of trim, just don't break them. Don't break them. Don't do anything with them. Don't touch them. Don't even look at them. Front wings, quite accounted for. We've got some, I think there's a manufacturer that are making them in time. Suspension, we're quite well accounted for with decent parts. As long as Melee keeps supplying them. Moog is another one. The problem is with genuine Ford stuff, you can probably only get one of something. I mean, for instance, the rear suspension, if I'm doing the rear suspension, and I can only get a genuine rear spring for this side, but then I have to go and get a KYB for that side. That's not, I don't like that. It's no good having one spring and one shock absorber that's Ford, you know. Oh yeah, my car's running on 3 KYBs and 1 standard Ford strut on the front passenger corner. There's absolutely no point to doing that. Rear subframe bolts, excuse me, front subframe bolts.
Obsolete.
Yep, definitely. We know about these filler pipes.
Aftermarket shite.
Yeah. Windscreens were quite well accounted for. The heated windscreens are actually quite good. So if you have a crack in the screen, you've got a heated screen, don't worry about the fact the original heated screen is cracked up. You could just get another one put in. Those bonnet locks, well, the genuine Ford ones,
Can't get them anymore.
yeah, well, I think they're almost running out. Now, this engine bay is a cavern of stuff that doesn't exist no more.
Obsolete.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. I haven't even started talking. Service items, your EFL 600 oil filter, the big white one. It's still made. It's made for Fords from the 80s. It's still available. Everything else, cam covers, timing, can't get it. Diesel engines, forget it. 70% of Mark 1s were Sigma engines, 1.4s, 1.6s especially, okay? That engine is well accounted for because it only stopped production in 2017. Things like camshaft sprockets, things like that never changed. Only bits that did change but weren't changed. So the Sigma is quite well accounted for. Everything that's bolted to a Sigma, just like this engine, it's becoming a bit of a problem. The aftermarket stuff is not great. Please do not buy aftermarket coil packs.
Aftermarket shite.
Yeah, aftermarket idle control valves.
Aftermarket shite.
You get the picture. Majority of sensors you can still get genuine. Crankshaft sensor, camshaft sensor. On the Sigma you can get the cylinder head temperature sensor, which is in the middle here. That's absolutely fine. Power steering switches. Genuine ones are here, and I'd tell you what, if I had £1,000 in my pocket, I would be going to Ford and buying a job lot. I could buy these for about 50 quid each these days. They are usually about £50, and when they are gone, I'm going to have a herd of Mark 1 enthusiasts coming to my door and saying, I need one, Andrew, I'm desperate. Yes, it's going to cost you £100. I'm not that greedy. But you get my point. You've got to get the power steering switches. I keep talking about it. It will burst and leave you stranded. The aftermarket ones,
Aftermarket shite.
they are so bad. I'd rather put a second-hand one that had done, well, the one off Mr. Inc. that I took off, it didn't burst. That will probably outlive, fingers crossed, a new aftermarket one. We're well accounted for these. There were plenty of good aftermarket ones. Febby, that's a good bottle. We're good with caps, so they're genuine. He's running out. Power steering bottles, look after them, please. All your fuel injectors, you can replace them with decent aftermarket ones. The fuel system stuff is very good. The ignition stuff is pretty good. If they're aftermarket HT leads, they don't fit.
Aftermarket shite.
Yeah. Coolant hoses, very long-lived on all the engines made from EDPM, okay? They're very long-lived. If we do need a replacement, we're looking at aftermarket, and I can't vouch for how good they are. Genuine ones, rocket North brew. I've had to change the breather hose on this, just down here, this one here, and it's a genuine one, and again, when they're gone, they're gone. On the Sigma engines, that breather pipe is renowned for blowing out. And they're about 30 quid genuine from Ford at this very moment. And yet people are still buying cheap ones that just don't. Headlights, excellent aftermarket products. And you wouldn't know the difference between them and the original Vestian headlight. Grills, lower grills, we can get all that stuff. Front mouldings, the rear mouldings on all the vehicles, absolutely fine. On the saloons, there's a centre moulding on the pre-facelift saloons.
Obsolete.
It really has dawned on me recently from doing all these parts. I don't think people are aware, unless you've done what I've done over the last 6 months and the last 3 days especially, you wouldn't know how bad it is. I'm actually looking at Mr. Inc. in a completely different manner. If a Mark 1 has an accident at the rear, they're going to be off the road perm. Inside here, whether it's an estate, saloon or hatch, you have a bumper support bracket. It's plastic. It's basically pot riveted on using plastic pot rivets onto the top edge and the bottom edge. And that is what connects to the car, because there's a big screw from the inside of the arch that goes into a stud, and that stud is part of that bumper support bracket. Guess what? Can't get any of them. They don't exist.
Obsolete.
And yet this is the main way of members fitting new bumpers. What I'm saying is we've got lots of aftermarket manufacturers who do front and rear bumpers. Okay, there's a load around for all the models, including saloon. But that's useless. Those bumpers are useless if they haven't got a bumper support bracket to be pop riveted onto them. You've got to have the old bumper dissected. The old bumper brackets have got to be drilled off carefully and reused, and hopefully they can be reused. That means effectively if you want a replacement rear bumper for a Mark 1, it's far easier to go and get a second-hand one that's maybe got some bashes, but it's very repairable. Give it to your body man and make the best job of that. 50 Shades is not wearing a brand new rear bumper, a bumper that was fitted to a Focus Silver 51 plate, and it was in shocking condition, and now it looks amazing. So you can do it. Mark 1 ownership is about working your way around things now, and I think that is a good example. There's so many other bits, honestly, from fuel pipes, all that kind of stuff. This is just unobtainable. I'll tell you the biggest problem, these scuttle cows. No aftermarket manufacturer wants to have a go at making them, and I think that's so disappointing because they are such a known weak point, but I think they're too much of a complex item to manufacture. Running out of time on this episode, but interior bits, please forget it. If you're a 3-door owner, saloon owner at the back and estate owner at the back, you're joking. The only safe Mark 1 is no Mark 1, but probably the safest one is a 5-door Z-Tech with a midnight black interior, because that's the other thing. The interiors are all different colours. 80% of them are midnight black like this, which is great for finding trim. But if you have a medium parchment, light medium stone interior, the beige interior, you are fighting a lot for trim. So the beige will wear out and reveal the black underneath. It's just been sprayed over the black. You have got to get a paint match from this door card and spray that up. If there's any other pieces of trim that are sprayed beige, in that beige colour, you've got to spray them. I'm afraid Mark 1 ownership has changed, I think, in the last year, and it's only going to get worse. I mean, the tailgate buffers disappearing, the subframes suddenly gone off apart. Items that you think are there, I wouldn't leave it in your shopping basket. If you want to buy this stuff, you've got to buy it when it's available, because you might get a shock when it disappears out your basket saying they're not available. So be very, very careful. A Mark 1 Focus, you can't load the shopping basket like you used to with these, with parts. You have to fight for parts or actually retain what you've got. I would love to replace that rear bumper strip. I can't, because I can't find another one.
Obsolete.
Anyway, I'll leave you there, and from me, Nick, and 2 Daves, take care. And here we come to the engine bay, where we have a pile of
Obsolete.
Aftermarket shite.
Can't get them anymore.
all right.